Ever had your car break down or face a surprise medical bill? I had both this year. And I don't know about you, but I always felt super stressed about things like that. Yes, even emotional, but it's not stressing me out anymore. Imagine having a safety net like I do now that takes away all that financial stress. Stick around because today I'm going to show you how to build that safety net, your very own emergency fund. Answering questions like, why do I need an emergency fund? How much should you save? And effective strategies to build one. By showing how I did it, I hope this video brings you the most value. Hi and welcome, my name is Maggie. Why is an emergency fund essential? At least if you don't want to deal with thoughts like, how can I pay for that? Or my money won't last till the end of the month. Should I use my credit card? I just can't afford all of this. By the way, something that is highly affordable is by clicking the subscribe button down there. I would be delighted. So give me a sign that this video brings you a positive impact. As we all know, life is unpredictable. We all know that expenses can pop up anytime, from repairing your car to sudden job loss or to medical bills. These situations are stressful enough without the added burden of financial stress. This is where an emergency fund becomes your game changer, providing peace of mind that you can handle these expenses without falling into debt. Stay to the end to find out how I deal with them. An emergency fund is for me personally a buffer that allows me to not grab a credit card or asking friends or family for money. It enables to focus on the emergency itself rather than worrying about how to pay for it. Essentially, an emergency fund is your financial cushion that can prevent a temporary setback or even become lifelong financial crisis. But even if something comes along the way, you're sure not going to be happily smiling about it, but also not going to be crying like crazy. Can you think about something that the last 6 months cost you unexpectedly a lot more than you thought? And share what it was down in the comments below. How much should you save? How much do I save? Even if you agree with me about the importance of emergency fund, there is still the question, how much should you save? There are experts saying saving 3 to 6 months of your living expenses. That means if your monthly expenses are $3,000, you should aim to save up between 9 to 18,000 in your emergency fund, all mentioned in dollar. This is surely not a bad advice, and a couple years ago, I was happy to have at least enough aside to cover me 2 months. But nowadays, and after Corona, that was not enough for me. I didn't know just 1 or 2 friends who have lost their jobs or earned less in that time. But I've had several friends and at least 4 members of my family that faced those problems. So for me, I aim to save as much to cover 1 year at least of my living expenses. I wrote down how much my living expenses cost me in a month without extras like traveling or restaurant, going out, shopping trips, something like that. Just my living expenses. Plus enough to save again some money off that emergency fund once I would pay it out to myself. So let's pretend there's 1 year and I wouldn't have any income. I calculated for myself that I feel comfortable with $2,500 every month to cover, like I said, my bills that I have to pay, my grocery shopping, and a little bit extra. That's just the number I feel comfortable with, which is surely totally different for every person. $30,000 for a whole year. Just because I want to be able, no matter if I work or not, for a whole year, my living expenses are covered. Now, all those numbers are for sure a very personal decision. Choose a number that you feel comfortable with and be able to save up for. However, the exact amount can vary based on your personal circumstances anyway. If you have a stable job, not a lot monthly expenses, or multiple income sources, 3 months for your expenses to calculate might be just right for you. On the other hand, if your income is unstable, you have a larger family or larger expenses, having 6 months or more, like I do, might be more fitting. For those who are self-employed or work in an industry with less job security, having a bigger emergency fund is advisable for sure. Also consider other factors like your health, the condition of your home or your car, or other financial obligations you may have. The goal is to cover your basic needs. How to save for that emergency fund now. Building up that emergency fund might be doubting, especially if you're just starting out, but it is entirely achievable. Here are some strategies that helped me a lot. Set a saving goal like we talked about it. So find out what the exact amount that you want to have on the side for your emergency fund. Having a clear goal in mind makes it easier to focus on where you want to be. Make sure to write one time down what higher expenses are. You need a number. Dedicate a specific amount of your money for your emergency fund that you can put aside. If you're interested how I did that whole budgeting thing, watch that video later on. Set up an automatic transfer from your earning account to your emergency fund, to your saving account. And I can say that often enough, but treat that money on your saving account like any other monthly bill that you have to pay. And then don't touch it. You can pay your rent and then get it back. The same goes here. You pay yourself and you don't take it back to use it then for other stuff. Look at your spending habits too and identify non-essential spendings and reduce them if you can. That might include canceling unused subscriptions, finding more affordable alternatives if it comes to whatever you're usually buying or for certain services, and increase your income. Look what can boost your income. The freelancing jobs, part-time jobs, and direct this extra income also directly to your saving account. And save extra even then when you get unexpected money, like a rise or a tax refund. All that goes in that emergency fund. Use cashback cards too and rewards for different programs from your credit card, for example. But you gotta make sure here that you're paying back in time. Otherwise, if you're not that good with that, paying back your credit card bills, then don't use that method. Whenever your financial situation changes, adjust your saving amount. Your emergency fund should be easy and accessible, but not that easy accessible that you can take that money anytime, like every day. Maybe if it's extra card, don't take the card with you all the time. Leave it at home. Let me tell you what I think about that. Personally, it's all personal here. It's my personal opinion and experiences. I make sure I never ever, never fall into debt. If I want something or wanted something in the past, I made sure I had the money first. For a new kitchen, for a car, and yes, it was a used car. I don't need a new car, but even for that, I had the money first. I just simply don't use money that I don't have. The only exceptions there would be, which didn't happen to me, would be student loans or if you really want to buy a house, which I'm perfectly fine with renting my apartment, so that doesn't include me too falling in debt, but those were things I would understand. But for anything that you just want to have now, because you want to buy it now, you don't want to wait, I don't know, a half a year and then take credit for that, it's not something I would do. And once I have built my emergency fund, I know that I only use it for true emergencies. Like for example, repairing the car that I had to a couple weeks ago. And as soon as I take money out, I make sure I'm filling up that emergency fund as soon as possible. And I'm regularly reviewing my fund just to make sure it still meets my needs and wants, especially if my financial situation changed. Having an emergency fund is more about than just financial security. It's you being able to handle whatever life throws on you. It's the confidence to take risks and pursue opportunities without the fear of a financial ruin. And it's about the freedom to live your life, knowing that you have a safety net to fall back on. And yes, it needs discipline, and it's for sure something that makes you prioritize what you want to spend your money on. But it's you being responsible for yourself and your loved ones. So start today. Really, start today. Don't wait. Make that first step towards building your emergency fund and for a brighter, more stable financial future for yourself. If you found that video helpful, I hope you clicked on the subscribe button. Also, make me smile by hitting that thumbs up button, and like always, stay motivated, be productive. See you next time.